Hey guys, welcome to the Libero Network. My name is Robin Baker, and this month's theme is all about new beginnings. So, new beginnings in eating disorder recovery, a huge new beginning for most people when they first enter into eating disorder recovery, and even throughout the recovery process, is the new beginning with a relationship in regards to your body. So, for most people in eating disorder recovery, I'm not going to say all because this isn't always true for everybody, the body changes physically. So either size goes up, size goes down. Your size can change in eating disorder recovery. For me personally, I gained weight because I was anorexic. So developing a new relationship with my body and a new beginning after a pretty intense and dramatic transformation in my body was a huge step in my recovery. And it's a pretty difficult one. You really have to start again with your relationship with your body in regards to healing it after such a traumatic experience as an eating disorder. So developing a new relationship with your body and starting a new beginning with your body image can be really tricky. The most important thing to remember in this new beginning is to take the focus off of your appearance and place it on how you feel in your body. It's really the first step in healing the relationship with your body and cultivating a positive body image early on in your eating disorder recovery. So these next tips I'm going to be giving you is really how to do that. How do you take the focus off of your appearance and place it more on how you feel? So the first tip is to avoid the mirror as much as you can. It's very difficult in this day and age to avoid the mirror. There's a mirror in your bathroom, I'm sure. There's a mirror in your bedroom, possibly. There's probably mirrors either at your work or at school. There's windows that have pretty strong reflections. I mean, we can even use our smartphone as a mirror by turning it on selfie mode for pictures, right? So there's mirrors everywhere. We have the power to make the choice of whether to look or not. However, it becomes so ingrained in ourselves to look at the mirror that it can be really difficult to break this habit. The best way to break this habit is just to be aware of when you're doing it first. You might not even lessen the amount that you do body checks or look at yourself in the mirror, but once you become aware of how many times you're doing it and become aware of how often you're doing it, you're more likely to stay mindful of when you're about to look in the mirror and ask yourself, why do I need to see myself right now? I'm pretty sure I'm okay. Unless you have you just ate lunch and you had salad and there's lettuce in your teeth. That's a whole nother reason. But if you're just walking down the hall and you want to take a glance at yourself to make sure you're okay, make sure you're acceptable, that's a whole nother reason. And just be mindful and aware that that's why you want to do it. A second way to minimize the amount of time spent in front of a mirror is to limit the amount of times you change your outfits. I am very guilty of this, I will admit. I will change my outfits multiple times, but I gave myself a limit. I can only change my outfit 2 times. And I started doing this right when I got home from treatment, and it was part of my recovery contract. Not only because it would help limit the amount of time in front of the mirror, but it would also keep me out of my head. So I wouldn't be thinking so much of, how do I look? Do I look okay? Do I look acceptable? And having those conversations with my ed voice in my head over and over and over as I changed clothes and thought I didn't look good in this, I better wear this, or that doesn't look good and maybe try this. So along the lines of clothing, when you're trying to not focus on your appearance and focus on how you feel, it's super important to wear clothes that are comfortable. And that can be anything for everybody. Different people feel comfortable in different things. I personally, when I was first in recovery, I liked wearing looser clothing because I didn't want things hugging in on my body. It just it brought more attention to my appearance for me. Not that I thought other people were looking at me. I just focus more on my appearance when my clothing is tighter. It makes me focus on it more. So I know me, and I know when I have clothing that stretches or that moves with me or is a little looser, I feel much more comfortable, and I'm not so aware of my appearance, and I'm focusing more on how I feel. So figuring out what works for you and what's going to lessen your attention to your appearance as far as clothing goes is something you have to explore for yourself. Something else that is important and doesn't really get talked a lot about in eating disorder recovery about feeling in your body is to stretch and to move. I don't mean compulsively, but if you don't stretch and you don't move your body, chances are you're going to feel tight, you're going to feel stiff. It's going to bring attention to your body, and that might even bring attention to how you look. If you feel uncomfortable in your body because you're tight, you're stiff, you don't have energy, you're not going to be very happy in your body. You're going to feel pretty crappy. I have to do a couple of stretches at least once or twice a day to feel good. I just feel really tight if I don't do a hip stretch at least once a day. So there's that, focusing on how you feel means you should feel pretty good in your body. And if you're physically feeling uncomfortable in your body, you're not going to be very happy in your body. So the last thing is to really be mindful of the talk going on either in your head with other people or even your self-talk about other people's appearance. Because what we tend to do is project how we're feeling about our own body onto other people's bodies. So for example, say you're watching an award show and it's the red carpet before the award show, and you're watching with some friends and you start talking about so-and-so's dress and that it's all wrong for her body and she looks this way and she looks that way. It's really, really quite impossible not to turn that critical talk about that person onto yourself. So, or it might be coming from you and you're placing it on that other person. So staying away from making any comments about someone else's appearance, your own, is really important in bringing attention more to how you feel in your body and less of the appearance. So that's it. I hope this video was helpful for you. Please remember the take-home message with this video is when you're having that new beginning with a positive relationship with your body and you're newly in eating disorder recovery and you're working on your body image, the most important thing is to focus on how you feel rather than your appearance. So if you have any tips that worked for you in your recovery, I encourage you to please share them below in the comment section. Or if you have any questions about what was in this video, I encourage you to also ask those as well. So until next time, I will see you then. Bye.